Hi, genius. Glowing star, let me ask you something powerful today. Have you ever reached the end of your day, completely exhausted, yet realized you didn't actually move forward on the things that really mattered? You were busy, answering emails, running errands, scrolling endlessly, jumping from one task to another. But deep inside, you know the most important things were left undone. This is the silent trap of modern life. We confuse urgency with importance. The ringing phone feels urgent, so we answer it. That random notification feels urgent, so we check it. But calling your parents, working on your dream project, building your health, they don't scream for attention, and so they get ignored. Think about it. At the end of life, will you care about how many times you replied instantly to a message, or will you care about whether you invested time in your relationships, your health, your personal growth, and your legacy? Psychology has a shocking truth here. People regret far more the things they didn't do than the things they did. And most of those regrets come from failing to put first things first. So today, in this video, we're going to uncover how to stop living reactively and instead take back control of your time, your priorities, and your future. Because when you put first things first, you don't just manage time, you design your life. Stay with me till the end, because this could be the turning point you've been waiting for. We live in a time where being busy has become a badge of honor. People proudly say, "I'm swamped, I'm overloaded, I have no time." But let me ask you, is being busy the same as being productive? The truth is, most people are not living their own priorities, they are living someone else's. Psychologists call this the tyranny of the urgent. Urgent tasks, like answering every email instantly, attending endless meetings, reacting to constant notifications, hijack our attention. They give us the illusion of progress, but in reality, they steal the hours meant for our deepest goals. Here's the problem. Our brains are wired to respond to urgency. When your phone pings, dopamine spikes. You feel important, connected, needed. But that same brain chemistry makes it easier to ignore the harder, quieter, but far more important work, like exercising, building a business, or investing in relationships. Think about how many times you've told yourself, "Tomorrow, I'll start eating healthy. Tomorrow, I'll begin writing that book. Tomorrow, I'll spend more time with family." Yet tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year, until one day you wake up and realize you've been running in circles. The biggest tragedy isn't failure, it's distraction. Failure at least teaches you something. Distraction steals your time without you even noticing. And time, once gone, never comes back. This is why the principle of put first things first is not just a productivity hack. It's a survival skill in today's world. If you don't choose your priorities, the world will choose them for you. And chances are you won't like where that leads. So now, let's dive into the 5 main causes why people fail to put first things first, and how you can break free from this trap. Magnifying glass tilted left. Main cause number 1. Confusing urgency with importance. What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. Dwight D. Eisenhower. This simple statement reveals one of the biggest traps of human behavior. Most of us wake up each day and immediately dive into what feels urgent, checking messages, rushing through tasks, reacting to situations, without asking whether those actions truly matter in the long run. Psychologists explain that our brains are wired for survival. Thousands of years ago, responding quickly to urgent sounds, like a snapping twig in the forest, could mean the difference between life and death. But in today's world, that same survival instinct gets hijacked by artificial urgency. Emails, texts, notifications, demands from others. These urgent things scream for our attention, while the truly important things, like health, learning, relationships, and personal vision, whisper quietly in the background. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine 2 boxes. In the first box are things that are urgent: deadlines, phone calls, last-minute favors, crises. In the second box are things that are important: exercising, reading, investing, spending time with loved ones, planning for your future. Now, if you look back on your week, which box got most of your time? For most people, it's the urgent one, and that's the reason they feel stuck. Let's take a real-world story. In the corporate world, many employees spend entire careers responding to emails and attending meetings. They feel like they are constantly working, but years later, they realized they never built the skills, connections, or projects that truly mattered for their growth. They were efficient at reacting, but ineffective at progressing. This confusion leads to burnout. When you're always chasing urgency, your brain never rests. You feel drained but unfulfilled. That's why so many people say, "I'm so busy, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere." The solution: clarity. You must learn to pause and ask, is this urgent thing actually important? If it's not aligned with your deeper goals, you must have the courage to say no, or at least delay it. Because here's the truth. Life rewards those who prioritize importance over urgency. Your health won't send you notifications, but neglect it and you'll pay the price. Your dreams won't ring like an alarm clock, but ignore them and they'll fade away. So the first cause of failing to put first things first is the confusion between urgent and important. Until we master this distinction, we'll remain trapped in reactivity instead of stepping into purpose. And this leads us to the next cause, something even more dangerous: the lack of a clear personal vision. Without vision, even if you know what's important, you won't have the courage or clarity to act on it. Magnifying glass tilted left. Main cause number 2, lack of a clear personal vision. Begin with the end in mind. Stephen R. Covey. One of the greatest reasons people fail to put first things first is because they don't really know what first means for them. If you don't have a clear destination, every road looks like the right one. And when every road looks right, you end up wandering without direction. Think about it. How many people drift through life, chasing whatever seems urgent or popular in the moment, but never stop to ask, what do I truly want? Without vision, people spend years climbing ladders, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Psychology backs this up. Studies on motivation show that when people lack a clear, intrinsic goal, they are more likely to procrastinate, get distracted, and feel anxious about their future. Why? Because the human brain craves meaning. Without a deeper why, even small obstacles feel overwhelming. With a strong vision, however, obstacles become stepping stones. Here's a real-life example. Steve Jobs once said that remembering he would die soon was the most powerful tool that helped him make big choices. Because when you see the end clearly, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Jobs' vision wasn't just about building computers. It was about putting a dent in the universe. That vision helped him say no to hundreds of opportunities and distractions so he could say yes to what truly mattered. Now contrast that with an average person's day. They wake up, check their phone, scroll through social media, reply to random texts, rush into tasks, and by evening, they feel exhausted but strangely empty. Why? Because none of those actions connected to a bigger vision. Without vision, you end up saying yes to everything, every demand, every distraction, every shiny new project. And when you say yes to everything, you are essentially saying no to your future. The solution: define your vision clearly, not in vague terms like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Instead, paint a vivid picture. What does success look like for you? What kind of relationships do you want? What kind of impact do you want to leave? When you see the end, your choices in the present become sharper. So here's the truth. Putting first things first becomes impossible without a compass. And that compass is your vision. Without it, even if you have time and energy, you'll waste them on paths that don't matter. This brings us to the next major cause, fear of saying no. Because even if you know your vision, if you can't protect it with boundaries, the world will pull you in 1,000 directions. Magnifying glass tilted left. Main cause number 3, fear of saying no. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett. If you want to know why so many people fail to put first things first, here's one brutal truth. They are afraid to say no. From childhood, we are conditioned to please others, to say yes to teachers, yes to friends, yes to every request at work. Society tells us that being agreeable makes us likable. And while kindness is a virtue, saying yes to everything is a trap that steals your focus, energy, and time. Think about your own life. How many times have you agreed to something you didn't really want to do? A meeting, a project, an outing, just because you didn't want to disappoint someone? And afterwards, you felt drained, frustrated, or even resentful. That's the hidden cost of saying yes too often. Psychologists call this the disease to please. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of conflict, the fear of missing out. And while it gives short-term comfort, avoiding an awkward no, it creates long-term regret. Because every yes to something unimportant is a silent no to something essential. Here's a story. Steve Jobs was ruthless about saying no. At Apple, he once said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are." Jobs knew that clarity requires boundaries. Without them, your vision drowns in the noise of other people's agendas. On the flip side, many talented people fail because they spread themselves too thin. They take on too many commitments, too many favors, too many distractions. As a result, they feel busy all the time but move slowly toward their dreams. The truth is, every yes has a cost. When you say yes to overtime, maybe you're saying no to family dinner. When you say yes to endless scrolling, maybe you're saying no to reading the book that could change your career. When you say yes to someone else's urgency, you're often saying no to your own priority. So how do you overcome the fear of saying no? Start by reframing it. No is not rejection, it's protection. Protection of your time, your energy, your vision. Think of no as a filter. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you effective. A simple phrase can help. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I don't." For example, "I don't take calls after 8 p.m." or "I don't commit to projects that aren't aligned with my goals." This removes negotiation and creates clarity. Here's the bottom line. If you want to put first things first, you must master the art of saying no. Because every yes you give without thinking is a silent betrayal of your future self. And this leads us directly to the next big cause, the trap of short-term comfort. Even if you learn to say no, if you keep choosing comfort over growth, you'll never truly honor what matters most. Magnifying glass tilted left, main cause number 4, choosing short-term comfort over long-term growth. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln, one of the biggest reasons people fail to put first things first is because of the comfort trap. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This survival instinct helped our ancestors stay alive, but in today's modern world, it often backfires. Let me explain. When faced with a choice between something easy and enjoyable right now, like scrolling social media, binge-watching Netflix, or eating junk food, versus something meaningful but challenging, like working on your side business, exercising, or studying, most people pick the first option. Why? Because the brain values immediate rewards over delayed ones. Psychologists call this present bias. Here's a powerful example. Imagine two people. One chooses to save $100 a month. The other spends it on small luxuries like coffee runs or impulse shopping. After 10 years, the saver could have tens of thousands in investments, while the spender has nothing to show. The short-term comforts felt good, but they robbed the long-term future. In fact, research from Stanford's famous marshmallow test revealed how children who could delay gratification, choosing one marshmallow now versus 2 marshmallows later, ended up with better life outcomes, higher grades, better health, and more success. Why? Because the ability to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort is the foundation of discipline. Here's where it gets real. Many people complain they don't have time for their goals, yet they spend hours each day in front of screens. They say they want health, yet they pick the couch over the gym. They say they want success, yet they avoid the hard work in favor of quick entertainment. The truth? Comfort is expensive, costs you your dreams. But here's the twist. Growth is uncomfortable at first, but rewarding later. Comfort feels good now, but painful later. It's a trade-off. Suffer the pain of discipline today, or suffer the pain of regret tomorrow. Take Thomas Edison. He could have chosen rest or distraction, but instead, he endured thousands of failed experiments to invent the light bulb. His short-term discomfort gave the world electricity. Or think about athletes like Michael Jordan, who woke up at 4 a.m. for practice while others slept. He traded comfort for greatness. So how do we fight the comfort trap? One trick is to make growth rewarding in the short term. For example, pair your workouts with music you love or reward yourself after finishing a big task. Train your brain to associate discipline with pleasure. Another method is visualization. Imagine how amazing your future will feel if you persist, and how painful it will feel if you quit. Here's the bottom line. Comfort zones are cozy, but nothing grows there. If you want to put first things first, you must learn to sacrifice what feels good now for what matters most later. And that brings us to our final major cause, lack of time management and priorities. Because even if you know your vision, learn to say no and fight comfort without managing your time wisely, your most important goals will slip through the cracks. Magnifying glass tilted left, main cause number 5, poor time management and lack of priorities. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Stephen R. Covey. At the heart of failing to put first things first lies a silent killer: poor time management. Most people don't live intentionally with their time. They live reactively. Their days are filled with endless to-do lists, urgent distractions, and constant busyness. Yet very little progress on what truly matters. Think about it. How often do you end your day feeling exhausted but strangely unaccomplished? You were busy, but were you effective? That's the difference between activity and productivity. Time management isn't just about doing more in less time. It's about doing the right things in the time you have. Stephen Covey introduced the time management matrix, which divides tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important crises, deadlines, emergencies, not urgent but important planning, growth, relationships, health, urgent but not important interruptions, unnecessary meetings, other people's demands, not urgent and not important time wasters like scrolling, gossip, binge distractions. Most people live in quadrants 1 and 3, constantly fighting fires or giving in to other people's urgencies. But the secret to putting first things first is to spend most of your time in quadrant 2, the not urgent but important zone. This is where real growth happens: exercise, learning, building relationships, planning, working on dreams. Here's a story. Dwight Eisenhower, former U.S. President and World War II general, used this principle to lead effectively. He once said, "What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important." This became known as the Eisenhower Matrix, still used by leaders worldwide to prioritize. But here's the modern reality. Technology has hijacked our attention. Notifications, emails, and social media are designed to feel urgent. They keep us in a constant reactive mode, stealing hours of deep, meaningful work. As a result, people spend more time responding than creating, more time reacting than leading. Let's face it, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. Your boss will fill your schedule, your phone will fill your hours, and your days will pass without you moving closer to your dreams. So how do you fix this? Start by asking a simple question each morning. What are the 3 most important things I must do today to move closer to my vision? Then block time for those tasks before anything else. Protect that time like treasure. Turn off notifications, say no to unnecessary meetings, and treat your priorities as non-negotiable. Another method is time blocking. Schedule specific hours for focused work, for health, for family, and for rest. When you schedule it, it becomes real. Remember, someday is not a day of the week. Here's the emotional truth. Life is short. If you spend it chasing urgencies and wasting time, you'll look back with regret. But if you master your priorities, you'll not only achieve your goals, you'll live with peace, clarity, and fulfillment. This brings us perfectly to the next section: real life and historical examples. Because the principles of putting first things first aren't just theories. History has proven them again and again through the stories of leaders, visionaries, and everyday heroes. Scroll real life and historical examples. 1. Martin Luther King Jr. A vision first, distractions second. In the 1960s, the United States was divided by racial injustice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. faced endless challenges: criticism, threats, and even jail time. Yet, he never lost sight of his first thing: the vision of equality and justice. When others told him to slow down or wait, King reminded them, The time is always right to do what is right. Instead of wasting energy on fear or small battles, he put his energy into organizing nonviolent protests, delivering powerful speeches, and uniting people under a shared dream. Because he put first things first, his "I have a dream" speech still echoes in history. Imagine if he had been distracted by fear or personal gain. The world might never have seen the same transformation. Lesson: putting first things first means holding on to the bigger vision, even when distractions scream louder. 2. Steve Jobs' simplicity over chaos. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was on the verge of collapse. It had dozens of products, no clear direction, and was losing money fast. Jobs made a bold move. He cut down Apple's product line to just 4 categories. People thought he was crazy, but Jobs believed in simplicity. He said, "Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do." By putting first things first, focusing on innovation, design, and simplicity, he rebuilt Apple into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Lesson: success doesn't come from doing everything, but from doing the right things. 3. Abraham Lincoln prioritizing unity over popularity. During the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was under constant pressure. Advisors, generals, and politicians all pulled him in different directions. But Lincoln knew his first priority: to preserve the Union. This focus helped him make hard decisions, even unpopular ones, like issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed enslaved people in Confederate states. He knew that unity and justice mattered more than temporary approval. Today, Lincoln is remembered as one of America's greatest presidents, precisely because he put the right priorities first. Lesson: leadership is about choosing the long-term good over short-term comfort. 4. Warren Buffett, the power of saying no. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, once gave advice to a young businessman. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Buffett knew that his time and focus were limited. By saying no to distractions, he put first things first, studying companies, making wise investments, and building Berkshire Hathaway into a financial empire. If Buffett had said yes to every opportunity, he'd be average. Instead, by focusing on what mattered most, he became extraordinary. Lesson: focus requires the courage to say number 5. The Wright brothers' focus on the dream of flight. At the start of the 20th century, everyone was racing to build a flying machine. Wealthy inventors and governments poured millions into the dream. But 2 unknown bicycle mechanics from Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright, succeeded where others failed. Why? Because they put first things first. Instead of chasing fame or rushing to build something flashy, they focused on solving the real problems of balance and control in flight. In 1903, their plane lifted off the ground for the first time in history. The world remembers them not because they tried to do everything, but because they focused on the essential thing. Lesson: extraordinary results come when you focus on the essentials and ignore the noise. 6. Modern everyday hero, a single mother's choice. Not all heroes are in history books. Imagine a single mother working 2 jobs to support her children. Every day she faces countless demands, pressures, and distractions. But she chooses to put first things first, focusing on giving her kids love, guidance, and education, even when it means sacrificing her own comfort. Years later, her children graduate, build successful lives, and thank her for teaching them discipline and values. She may not be famous, but her impact is eternal. Lesson: putting first things first isn't just for leaders. It's for anyone who wants to create a meaningful legacy. Emotional transition from Martin Luther King Jr. to a single mother, the lesson is the same. Great lives are built by those who know their priorities and stick to them. History doesn't remember the busiest people. It remembers the people who did what mattered most. And this brings us to the modern day. How does putting first things first apply to us? Living in a digital age full of distractions, opportunities, and noise. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, the principle of put first things first is more relevant than ever. We live in an era of constant notifications, social media distractions, and endless streams of information vying for our attention. Without deliberate focus, priorities can quickly get lost in the noise. 1. Digital distractions and prioritization. Smartphones and social media can be powerful tools, but they are also designed to capture attention. Modern-day prioritization begins with digital discipline. Audit your screen time. Identify apps or platforms that consume hours without meaningful results. Set boundaries for notifications, social media, and email. Only allow alerts for truly important messages. Use tools like focus modes, app blockers, or schedule deep work periods. Example: a content creator might block social media for certain hours, reserving mornings for writing scripts and filming, rather than reacting to every trend or comment. 2. Remote work and home life balance. Modern work often blurs the lines between personal and professional life. Putting first things first in this context means clear boundaries and intentional schedules. Establish a workspace that signals work mode. Define work hours and non-negotiable personal time. Prioritize tasks that align with long-term career goals rather than getting lost in reactive emails or endless meetings. Example: a remote employee dedicates 90 minutes each morning to strategic project work before checking emails, ensuring progress on what truly matters rather than being pulled by urgent but low-value tasks. 3. Mindful consumption of information. We are inundated with information from news, social media, and streaming platforms. Modern prioritization requires selective intake. Follow sources that align with your personal growth, career, or values. Schedule specific times for news or social media updates. Avoid continuous consumption, which fragments attention and drains mental energy. Example: entrepreneurs like Elon Musk or Tim Ferriss consume information intentionally, reading books, targeted articles, or listening to specific podcasts rather than mindlessly scrolling feeds. 4. Health, wellness, and energy management. In the modern world, priorities extend beyond tasks. They include self-care, mental health, and energy management. Without physical and mental well-being, even the best plans fail. Schedule regular exercise, sleep, and downtime. Integrate mindfulness, meditation, or journaling into your daily routine to maintain clarity. Recognize that putting first things first isn't only about work. It's about sustaining the energy to pursue what matters most. Example: top CEOs often maintain strict routines around sleep, exercise, and nutrition because these habits ensure they can make high-quality decisions consistently. 5. Intentional social connections. Modern life can feel isolating despite constant connectivity. Prioritization includes investing in meaningful relationships. Family, friends, mentors, and collaborators. Dedicate time for genuine conversations, not just digital check-ins. Schedule recurring catch-ups or family time as non-negotiable events. Example: even with busy schedules, leaders like Michelle Obama emphasize dedicated family dinners and personal connection as integral parts of their routines. Closing thought for Part 9. Modern-day connection in the digital age. Putting first things first is about mindful focus, intentional boundaries, and energy management. It's not just a principle for time management. It's a framework for living intentionally in a world full of distractions. By aligning daily choices with long-term priorities, managing digital distractions, and nurturing both productivity and personal well-being, we create a life that balances achievement with fulfillment. Example: 1. Warren Buffett. The power of focus. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, is known for his legendary focus. Early in his career, Buffett was asked how he achieved such extraordinary results. His answer highlighted a counterintuitive approach. Identify your top 25 goals. Circle the 5 most important ones. Avoid the remaining 20 at all costs. This strategy, often called the avoid at all cost list, illustrates a simple truth. Success comes from saying no to almost everything, so you can say yes to what truly matters. Buffett's disciplined focus on his priorities allowed him to invest with precision, ignore distractions, and grow his wealth steadily over decades. 2. Elon Musk. Structured chaos and prioritization. Elon Musk manages multiple companies: Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and others. How does one man lead so many high-impact ventures? The answer lies in intense prioritization and time management. Musk divides his day into 5-minute blocks, scheduling only the tasks that drive the most impact. He focuses on the high-leverage activities that will move projects forward, delegating the rest. This level of precision demonstrates a key modern lesson. In a world of infinite distractions and responsibilities, meticulous prioritization multiplies impact. 3. Apple Incorporated. Innovation through focus organizations can embody put first things first as effectively as individuals. Apple, under Steve Jobs, became a case study in focus-driven innovation. Jobs famously reduced Apple's product line to a handful of core products. Instead of spreading resources thin across multiple projects, Apple focused on design excellence, user experience, and key innovations. The result? Industry-leading products that redefined markets and created lasting impact. Apple's story shows that prioritization is not just a personal tool. It's a strategic business advantage. 4. Oprah Winfrey. Aligning purpose with priorities. Oprah Winfrey's career demonstrates how aligning daily actions with personal values and purpose creates sustainable success. She consistently chose projects that aligned with her mission, educating, inspiring, and uplifting others. Even when opportunities seemed lucrative, Oprah focused only on those that resonated with her core priorities, building an empire while maintaining authenticity. Her story highlights an essential principle. True fulfillment comes when priorities reflect values, not just external pressures. 5. Ordinary people, extraordinary results. Putting first things first isn't reserved for billionaires or CEOs. Everyday individuals achieve life-changing results by applying this principle. A working parent might block early mornings for uninterrupted study or skill building, advancing their career while maintaining family time. A student might prioritize long-term learning over short-term entertainment, gaining mastery in subjects that lead to scholarships or opportunities. These examples reinforce the truth. Intentional prioritization compounds over time, producing extraordinary outcomes from consistent, focused effort. Closing thought for Part 10. The stories of Buffett, Musk, Jobs, Oprah, and countless everyday achievers reveal a common thread. Success is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Put first things first is not just a time management tool, it is a life philosophy. When you identify your priorities, focus relentlessly, and protect your time and energy, you create not only achievement but also meaningful impact. In the next part, we'll explore actionable daily routines and habits that allow anyone to consistently apply this principle, turning theory into lifelong practice.